Alright, Trial Mob, you already know what time it is. Joytoy has been coming at us with all cylinders on fire. These guys are coming out with just some of the most dopest stuff coming out of Warhammer 40k. I am absolutely happy we got this IP. Guys, I'm also going to be touching base on some of the Acid Rain releases, but that's going to be either later today or tomorrow. But for this first part, I just wanted to make sure that we gave all the attention we needed to this next 3 wave of releases that we're going to be getting from Joytoy, again, for this Warhammer 40k stuff, and it just keeps getting better and better. I'm pretty sure soon we're going to hear or see some stuff that's just going to be out of this world, kind of like we're already seeing on the screen. So let's go ahead and break it down and see if this is something you guys are willing to spend your hard-earned money on. So to start everything off, Joytoy let us know that they're going to be bringing a group of the Blade Guard veteran. Now, this squad right here is absolutely badass. I've seen this before, obviously in game, and what makes it so badass is the fact that these guys come looking more kind of like obviously like melee figures, so they come with shields, they come with swords, but not just that, there's a few other things about them that make it look like they're wearing sort of like knightly armor, and that's just something that makes this just one of the coolest sets that we've seen in recent memory from basically Games Workshop, and they translate just utterly perfectly onto the screen here in this new Joytoy style. Now, of course, we do get treated to this really nice promotional images, so we're going to go ahead and show you a little bit of a closer up so you can see them. Some of the photo qualities I was able to get for some reason just aren't the best. I'm going to do my best with what I have, but this is what the 3 of them look like with their helmets on. I really like the fact that we have 2 with white helmets and 1 with the red helmet. Obviously, the one with the red helmet is the leader, but man, look at these guys with the sigils, with the armor, with the paint apps. The tunics that they're wearing under, I absolutely love the tunics, and then as you can tell, you are getting more of that armor knight look with, again, some of the sheaths and swords, but again, some of the cues that we're seeing like on the knee pads specifically of these guys, but again, just the overall aesthetic is just incredibly Crusader looking, and I think that that's something that hits a sweet spot for a lot of us fans. Now here we do get a very nice image of basically their these figures with their helmets off. Again, something that Joytoy has been doing recently with their figures is that they've been giving us removable helmets. Now I apologize, it's not necessarily a removable helmet, it's literally just another helmet that you can take off the regular head and put on the helmets. I wouldn't mind seeing them go for more of that removable helmet look, but regardless, it's absolutely incredible that we get to see again these style of looks. Look how good these guys look, man. They look large, they look imposing, they have all these different, even the shields, man, the shields are just incredible. This is going to be an imposing force on the battlefield and an imposing force in your display case when you guys have these guys over honestly a lot of the stuff that Joytoy has given us so far. Now, even with all the detail that we're getting on the front, Joytoy never skimps on any single part of the figure. And as you can see on the back side here, you get a better look at what the sheath looks like coming from the back. It doesn't seem to get in the way of any of the articulation, but you also get pouches, you get sigils, you just, you know, it's just really refreshing to have a figure that feels like it realistically is coming to battle, not like, again, some of the stuff that we've seen from other brands that just, you know, they're doing and covering the basic details of the figure, but again, no detail was spared here. Now this shot right here allows us to get a better look at what these guys look like from the front, and as you can tell, they do look a lot more like knights, like crusaders. You see those rivets basically on the forearms. This basically looks like, again, what a knight would look like in Ultramarine power armor, and there's just no stopping how good this can look. And another detail that I'm seeing is that all 3 helmets are different. Though the 2 on the left are white, I can tell that on the, I guess you could say, the face of the middle one, there seems to be an actual design, while on the left is just plain. Again, love little things like that make you feel like you're getting 3 completely separate figures. And again, this Crusader look is just absolutely on point. They spared no detail here on anything, the sheath, the sigils, the, you know, again, the shields. This is definitely something that's going to be a very impressive looking piece overall. Now switching over to the Chaos Forces, the Black Legion is coming out with this Havoc team, which is basically supposed to be a heavy support unit. from the Black Legion, and these guys are just monsters. Let me go ahead and show you a close-up. So as you guys know, we have seen the Black Legion before, so we do know what to expect in terms of the color combinations. Is basically black with gold, and we've seen again just this overall aesthetic, a lot of pointy bits. Basically, these guys are supposed to be chaos, so they've always gotten this look where they, for me looking at this, it looks like they're wearing kind of, again, chain armor. These look like chaos knights. And I think that's going to go very nice once you get your Blade Guard veterans to fight them, because then you have your real Crusader knights. So again, this is going to go really nice. But again, these guys are the heavy artillery, basically. As you can tell, some big guns on them. These guys are definitely going to bring the destruction to the Order side. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. Again, I do apologize. Basically the photos that come after this aren't as good as I would like them to be. Now, these first two Havok members obviously give us a good look at what the rest of them are going to look like. Again, we see some chainmail, we see the skulls. These guys look incredibly imposing. They're going to be very large. We have seen that the scale and size of the Black Legion seems to be even bigger than the Primaris Intercessors and all of them, so there seems to be a little bit of a height discrepancy there. That might be lore accurate, but again, these are going to be big boys, and they come with even bigger guns. Basically, both of these guys, the one on the left is more of a rocket launcher, the one on the right is more of a heavy turret, kind of like a melta-gun. I think that this is going to be a really nice look overall. If you were, considering the Black Legion, you weren't sure what to do, heavy troopers have a, real big place in my heart, so this is kind of a must buy. But I also already like the Black Legion enough to make sure that I buy them all, so there is that. Now, of course, switching over to the next Havok, this guy is going to come with basically an oversized minigun. This guy looks absolutely massive compared to the other guys. I'm sure he's on the same scale, but something about having just this gigantic minigun, which I know sounds funny, but yeah, it's a big Gatling gun that he's holding on to himself. He has big armor around the legs, and again, I like that they have specifically the Black Legion seems to have these like raptor style feet, because it makes them look way less human. And of course, you see that smiling face on his shin. Again, really cool little details like that really emphasize the fact that these guys are chaos warriors of the worst kind. Now, this next Havok is obviously going to be the leader of the group. He looks a lot like the one that we got in one of the past figure releases. There's a lot of stuff that looks rehashed here. Maybe that head is a little different, and obviously the kit is a little bit different, but for the most part, this is still going to be really cool. And if that one was a must buy, honestly, so is this one. He's going to come with a las gun, what looks like a chaos chainsword. Really nice stuff that they're putting onto these guys. Again, the aesthetic is great, the look is great, the chaos stuff is great, and again, it is really nice to see that you're basically getting 5 different figures, and that's something that they are doing a phenomenal job with the Black Legion specifically, that every single figure seems to look different enough from the next one, that it doesn't feel like you're necessarily getting 5 of the same, and they can be incredibly expressive with basically the chaos stuff compared to how much the regular Space Marine stuff looks a bit more neutral. Now, we are going to go straight into this other gentleman right here. That is a large gun. Now, I forget what exactly this one is called. I don't know if it's a rail gun, or I'm not really sure exactly, but we can call it a heavy cannon, because that's what it fucking looks like to me, a heavy cannon. But again, this guy just looks very massive. Again, it's really nice to see that size-wise, these are going to be basically the size of like a Terminator if you were to get a Terminator, which, again, size discrepancy aside, that's really cool when you actually put them up together in your dioramas, but I would like to see what that's going to look like in terms of actual accuracy to the lore. But again, these guys just keep bringing the heat with these figures. Now, switching back to Order forces, here we have the champions of the chapter. So this is going to be basically a lot of your HQ units, I guess you could say your leader units in the actual tabletop game. Obviously, they had to eventually give us this kind of stuff, so expect something coming from Chaos soon. But in the meantime, obviously, we're getting it for the Ultramarines, and man, this is some of my favorite stuff, man. I know a lot of you were asking for the Dreadnought, and I know I said that I didn't think it was going to happen. I stand absolutely corrected. Here they are. So again, let's take a quick look at better photos. And here we get a better look at that beautiful looking Dreadnought, man. It's obviously going to be a bit of a smaller figure overall compared to some of the bigger Invictor suits that we saw before, or the Invictus suits that we saw before. While I don't know if I would get something like that, this Dreadnought that looks noticeably smaller is definitely more in line with something that I think I might actually pull a trigger and buying on. It's definitely a lot bigger. It's definitely huge, but it's not nearly as huge as those other war suits. And I like the fact that I'm able to have still a big, heavy tank-like unit that doesn't take up too much space on the shelf. And of course you can see the Legion Bearer on the right, and then of course the Sergeants on the left. Again, this is going to be some really cool stuff that's going to look incredible on the shelf when these guys are leading the rest of your Legion. So as I mentioned before, this Dreadnought is going to be smaller than the Invicta war suit. I wasn't able to re-find a photo of the real size difference, but as you can tell, the Invictor War suit is basically like a 10-inch tall figure. This one looks like more like a 6 or 7-inch tall figure, and it's gonna come exactly how you see it, with the dual cannon on the right, power fist on the left. Really cool looking stuff. Again, way more easier sized. And I wonder with this, with us being able to get an opportunity to see this, are they potentially going to release smaller figures of the regular Ultramarines, not the what are they called, the Primaris style figure, which the Primaris are supposed to be bigger. And of course, with this being a smaller frame, you would imagine the Marine inside of it would be smaller. I get that they're dead, but still, you get what I mean. The Legion Bearer here looks really, really nice. I love the white helmet. It definitely makes him look, because basically he is an intercessor. All of these guys are, but the white helmet really helps distinguish it. And of course, a really beautiful Ultramarines flag that he's bearing. It's a really good looking figure. And again, if this is something that you want on the battlefield, or even again in your display, I think of all of these guys, this one is surprisingly important when you think about it, because this is something that you definitely want to bring to the field, or if you're going to have it again in a display, you need the guy that has the flag of the Legion you're building up, man. This is something that's not just important, but just is going to look incredible in photos. To all my photography guys, you're going to have a field day using specifically this one. Now this right here is one of these sergeants, I believe, so we are getting something that we have seen before, which is basically the intercessor body, but we do get a bolter that has a few more sigils on it that are going to look very nice. The kit looks very similar, but you get a full red helmet, which I don't believe you get in the normal release. So again, this is going to be something that at least is slightly different. It's not exactly the same figure, but it's a lot of the stuff we've seen before here. But again, there's never a detail that's spared. These guys are going to come equipped with a lot of stuff on them. They're going to look very nice. And again, that red helmet is basically what you're paying for, and a slightly different bolter. So it's not like you're getting a carbon copy. You are getting something slightly different that is going to be unique. Now this last sergeant for me is my favorite one, because he comes with a beautiful looking power sword. I'm a sucker for power swords, so I'm happy that he gets it. And again, he's going to be very similar to what we've seen before, but his kit is a little bit different, and I do believe he's one of the only ones that has sort of this look on that bottom right shin, that like flying skull eagle thing. I'm not really sure again if we've seen specifically that before, but I do like the way it looks. He does look a little bit different. And then of course his helmet, I do like the all red one, but this red white one that he has on the forehead I think is definitely a great look. So again, maybe a couple tweaks here and there, nothing too crazy, but I think that for the most part it's a really good looking kit, and this is definitely a must buy for me, especially because of that power sword, man. I just love when these figures that are from the future come with close quarter combat weapons. Alright guys, so as you guys can tell, Joytoy is basically going to continue to bring us heat. There's going to be more stuff that's probably going to come out soon in the future aside from this, but these releases are some of the best we've seen so far. If I had to choose only one set to walk away with, because again, these are going to be fairly expensive, it's the Blade Guard Veterans that I'd probably put my money on, and secondary would be that Black Legion, and then I'd top it all off with the basically Heroes of the Legion. But let me know what you guys think. What are you guys excited for? What do you guys want them to do next? And please like, comment, subscribe, share my content, comment down below anything you'd like to talk with me about, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well, officialxtbgx, all one word. And of course, all that does is help provide a lot more assistance for me with getting my content out there, getting more views, and being able to spend more time with you guys and putting out more content. But until then, I'll see you guys on the next one.